Yo, good morning, guys. All right, so we back at it, and you know what time it is, you know what rhyme it is. So of course, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, drop a comment, and if you could possibly share the video if you have the same sentiments as I basically have. So over this past weekend, a lot of you may have heard that I was on the Fade City podcast, which is basically it's like a podcast station, kind of like a radio type joint, but it's of course internet because it is 2019. It's basically that kind of a show that tackles different topics that the hosts feel like talking about at the time. So I had actually called in and they actually invited me to come be on the show this Sunday. So I will be on the Fade City podcast this Sunday. I believe the stream starts at 8, and we'll be just talking about different stuff. You can actually type it in on YouTube. If you type in the Fade City podcast, Fade is an F-A-D-E City podcast, it'll come right up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to those brothers too, man. Very good dudes over there that seem pretty knowledgeable of what they talking about. So I decided to call in. So the guy Cheatham, he was basically saying, hey, he had a post because he got one of these hats right here. So he had a post he had put up on Instagram, and this guy took offense to that shit. He said, yo, I follow your podcast because I like hip hop, but I don't follow your podcast to be called racist. Out of nowhere, literally, he put the picture up, and the dude randomly commented, I don't want to be called racist. That's not why I follow your Instagram and watch your podcast. We was like, what? Bro, first off, how the fuck are you offended by something that doesn't even have your name on it specifically, or doesn't say that you specifically is what it's talking about, but you took offense to that? That just goes to show that you just told yourself you fucking racist, and you know you racist. You listen to hip hop and all that good shit, but you fucking racist. This is not something I've never seen before. I mean, it was dudes all around different areas of Baltimore, man. You got black dudes letting white people call them niggas and shit. It's a big thing going on here. And these white boys, they decide, hey, look, I follow hip hop and shit, so I can certain shit I can say, certain shit I should be able to say, so I'm gonna say it. And that's how they carry themselves. And a lot of motherfuckers let them say that shit, man. Not me though. I always check them, but yeah, it's nothing I haven't seen before. So we went back and forth with this dumbass motherfucker. Yo, look, how about this, yo? How about you go on one of them alt-right joints and then sit up there and tell those motherfuckers we need to combat hate with racism and hate with love. Bitch, don't come in our area telling us how the fuck we should react to some shit we dealing with that your people started. Now, I got no problem at all with white people, but don't be over entitled here. This is a subject you have nothing to say about unless you are basically in agreement with what the fuck we talking about. It shouldn't be a situation where you can come in and tell us what the fuck, how we should react to some shit. Bro, what are you talking? No other culture is able to do that shit, yo. No other culture is able to have that shit done to them. Don't nobody go tell the Jewish how they should act about the Germans murdering them and shit and taking all these days off and stuff. Don't nobody tell them that shit because they don't allow that shit. These motherfuckers in power. You say some shit like that, you get the rug pulled from underneath you, and they know that. They know that, man. So we went back and forth with this guy. So it was they did a episode on it on the Fade City podcast. So then you had Trey Holiday and Daryl Ricks were pretty much on there too. So they were Newport Ricks. They were on there just discussing the joints. So I called up, and Cheatham was basically going on a point yo, I don't think a majority of us came from Africa. I think a lot of us were here. And I called in yo, my man, that shit touched my spirit because I've been thinking that shit for the longest time. Yo, it's a feeling. You really start to really think and break shit down. Yo, how is it that all these slaves are able to be transported? You got 400 million black people here or something like that. However many it is, it's a lot of us. So with that said, yo, you got these slave ships that are transporting black people to and from, or from Africa, basically, quote unquote, is how the story goes. All these people bound up by the head and feet. I think the voyage takes 4 months or some shit like that. You had all these people laid down, standing them up every once in a while for 4 months. And my question was, yo, what were these people drinking and eating? They said they had salted meat on ships to keep the crew fed. How much meat could you possibly carry on them ships? And then if they were salted, what the hell were they drinking? They weren't drinking seawater because that shit'll fuck your brain up. You'll be insane by the time you're done drinking that shit. And then everybody knows with salt on the meat, it makes you more thirsty. The sodium actually makes you want more to drink. So with that said, what the hell were they drinking? You could say rainwater. They had a rainwater collector. Suppose it was a situation where it ain't rained for 2 weeks and they was out on the water sailing and it rained for 2 weeks or whatever like that. You know, you dry as hell. The meat from the salt you got to eat all the damn time is fucking drying you out. You know what I mean? Yo, you fucking grumpy as fuck. 2 weeks of the sun beating the shit out of you and it ain't no rain or longer. You just never know. It's not predictable. So, I mean, that shit never made sense to me. So I brought that point up on the Fade City podcast, and they basically were in agreement. But yeah, very good topic, man. I think it's about an hour and a half, 2 hour long show, because I basically came in at the last, I think, hour and a half. But yeah, it was interesting, man. So you should go in there and slide and subscribe to these guys and give me a view and leave some comments too. It's called, again, the Fade City podcast. So I'll be back on there this Sunday to discuss more topics. So that's pretty much all I gotta say today. What do you guys think about my point of view on that? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Meanwhile, I got stuff to do. Let me go ahead and make these moves. Y'all have a nice one. Peace out.